Welcome. We're about to break down a highly actionable framework for generating online sales, and get this, we're going to do it completely without the usual overwhelm. My absolute goal today is to make this strategy so simple to understand and honestly so easy to implement that you'll feel ready to roll right away. You literally won't need to overcomplicate things after this. So let's look at how connecting through content really bridges the path to online sales.
Okay, let's dive right into this. I gotta ask, are you doing everything right but still not making sales? Our source material highlights this deeply exhausting cycle that honestly, so many entrepreneurs find themselves stuck in. You know the drill, right? You're working around the clock, you're constantly tweaking your emails, posting way more, going live, just trying to keep up with every single guru's advice out there. And yet, you're seeing zero consistent results. It's incredibly frustrating. It kind of feels like you're just shouting into the void for absolutely nothing. Well, the good news is that feeling of overwhelm is completely normal. And today, we're going to clear it all up.
So here's our game plan for today. First, we'll look at overcoming online business overwhelm. Second, the wrong way to sell. Third, the person, problem, and path framework. Fourth, the power of quick wins. And finally, how to define your target audience. Let's get to it. Section 1. Overcoming online business overwhelm.
You know, the reality of starting an online business is that it almost always happens while you're already juggling intense real-world pressures. Take Sanelli's backstory from our sources, for example. I mean, she was a mom working 7 days a week, pulling 12-hour shifts, and just completely stressed out and overwhelmed all over the show. She desperately needed something legitimate, something that would actually bring in real income to pay the bills and ultimately bring her husband back home earlier from his work away. When you're in that kind of survival mindset, you definitely don't need just another exhausting task on your plate, right? You need a system that actually works in those tiny, small pockets of your day.
Moving on to Section 2, the wrong way to sell.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing what happens when people are just desperate to escape that overwhelm we just talked about. They often make a pretty major mistake. They blindly follow the typical grind approach. Traditional advice is always telling you to, post 3 times a day, hustle to get 1,000 followers in 24 hours, and constantly explain every single feature of your product. But honestly, this completely sabotages your success. The actual goal is remarkably simple. You really just need to connect with one specific person by relating to one specific problem. It's all about connection, guys, not just sheer volume.
You absolutely have to stop studying like a parrot. The source uses this brilliant analogy about high school biology class. If you hated this subject, you'd probably just copy your friend's notes and memorize the answers like a parrot just to pass the test, right? All without ever actually understanding what the concepts meant. Well, people do the exact same thing in the online space. They just mimic these gurus, copying tactics and posting constantly, without ever hitting pause to understand the actual buyer's journey or the psychology of why people buy in the first place.
Section 3. Person, problem, and path.
So to actually fix this overwhelm, we use a super simple 3-part checklist that's going to instantly bring clarity to literally any content or sales strategy you create. Number 1, identify the person you're talking to. Number 2, deeply understand the specific problem they're struggling with right now. And number 3, provide them with the very next logical path to take. That's the whole shebang. You really don't need a massive audience. You just need to speak directly to this one person's pain points and show them the exact next step.
So the absolutely crucial point here is that you must avoid the path mistake. This happens when content creators just list product features all day long. They're constantly like, look at my templates, look at my app, look at all these modules you get. They talk exclusively about the product path instead of the person's problem. Let's be real, your audience doesn't care about your product's features. They care about the outcome. They care about how you're going to solve the emotional pain they're sitting with right at this very moment. So actually, scratch that whole feature dumping habit. Stop talking about the product and start talking about the outcome.
All right, Section 4, the power of quick wins.
And this brilliantly illustrates what happens next. Once you understand the person and their problem, your exact mechanism for actually getting leads is to focus on providing immediate, bite-sized relief. Just imagine a busy, stressed-out mom who literally just got home from the 12-hour shift. Her kids are starving, and she's already feeling guilty about ordering takeout again. If you hand her a massive 100-page cookbook filled with complex, healthy meals, she is going to completely ignore it. I mean, no way. It's just too much information. It completely paralyzes her. But what if you hand her a single 30-minute recipe using ingredients she already has sitting in her fridge? Boom. You've just given her a quick, actionable win that she can actually implement tonight. You threw out the overwhelm and handed her a solvable step right now.
In the online business world, this 30-minute recipe concept is exactly what we call a lead magnet. A lead magnet is simply giving a quick win to a potential customer in exchange for their email address. That's it. You aren't asking them for some massive commitment up front. You're just offering a tiny, highly relevant solution that bridges the gap between their current frustration and a momentary sigh of relief.
So why does delivering information in these bite-sized chunks convert so much better than, say, sharing your screen and explaining your entire massive program all at once? Well, because a quick win entirely prevents customer paralysis. It builds trust little by little. It delivers immediate, tangible value that they can actually feel today. And honestly, most importantly, by getting their email address, it creates a seamless pipeline for future education. You can now send them simple emails, day by day, letting them get to know you and learn at their own pace without ever feeling overwhelmed.
Which brings us to Section 5. Define your target audience.
Let's move to and see how this builds into real action. To apply this entire framework to your own life, you have to overcome the biggest hurdle, figuring out who on earth you're actually supposed to be talking to. And the profound insight from our source material is this: your perfect customer is most likely you, or, a previous version of yourself from a month or even a year ago. You do not need to sit around inventing some imaginary persona in a corporate boardroom. You just need to look back at the problem you used to face, remember the exact emotions and fears that kept you stuck, and speak directly to that past version of yourself. So I'm going to leave you with a piece of exact fill-in-the-blank homework derived straight from the source. I want you to answer this question right now. I want to help who struggling with what? For example, I want to help busy moms struggling with finding time to cook healthy meals. Simple is what sells, guys. Write this down, fill in the blanks based on your own past experiences, and use it as the ultimate compass for every single piece of content you create going forward. And as you step away to implement this today, let me leave you with this final provocative thought. If your perfect customer is simply the you from a year ago, what is the single most important piece of advice they are desperately waiting to hear from you today?